As you can see in the AnyConnect client, there's not very much for the user to change. The settings available and the interface, it's quite slick. If you go into the settings here, under preferences, right now there are 3 settings. These settings are the only thing that the normal user can reach and change. Even these settings here can be modified, enabled or disabled from the ASDM. All these settings, as well as many other settings that are never visible in the graphical interface, are stored in configuration files in XML format. These XML configuration files are not editable from the GUI, and the files are pushed out and deployed from the firewall. I will show you how that works. Let's first go into ASDM and I will show you how it looks like. There is something called Client Profile Editor. In the Client Profile Editor, you can edit the XML files and you can deploy those to group policies. Whenever a user logs in and is assigned a group policy and there is an XML file, that XML config file is downloaded to the client automatically without the user even seeing it. And if there are new settings and the XML file is updated, it will be downloaded, otherwise it will not. We will look at the editor, but first I will show you where the files are stored. The XML files lands in a directory that is hidden. In order to see them, we need to show hidden files in the browser. When we show hidden files, we will see the directory on the C drive called program data. And there are other locations for other operating systems. You can Google that and then you'll find the location on each operating system. For Windows, they are in program data, CISCO, AnyConnect Secure Mobility Client Profile in this directory. Actually, here is an old XML file that I will delete right now. I will show you soon. First of all, if we log in and out again, we will make sure that we are not getting any new configuration file. So I log in. This file always exists here. This is not the XML file I'm talking about. This one should be here. But when I logged in now, I did not get any new XML file because I have not added any client profile editor configuration file here. But I do that now, and I call it my test profile file. The usage is VPN profile in this case, and it is stored locally on the flash of the firewall. And after I have created it, I can edit it. There are a lot of settings that we will not go through here, but I will show you one simple setting that we can change. It is the local LAN access. We have not talked about this. This is an exception for the split tunnel functionality. If you enable local LAN access on the client will always be able to locally reach the local LAN that the client is connected to, no matter if it's running full tunnel or split tunnel. There will always be an exclude for the tunnel for the locally connected network. No matter which IP address or subnet it is using, it will reach the local subnet without any VPN. And the main functionality for that is to reach network printer located on the same subnet as the client and so on. What I will show you is that if I uncheck user controllable, these settings will disappear from the client. They will not even be visible for the client. I check local LAN access, so I enforce local LAN access. Actually, I can make that user controllable, but I enforce it by checking it, and I make sure that that's the only setting that the user can ever change among the settings that are available in the GUI of the AnyConnect client. There are a lot of other settings here, and I will deselect user control for all of them, and I will not go through the rest of these settings here. After editing it, I apply. I assign this file to the default group policy. It's the only one that exists right now. That means that from now on, whenever someone logs in and hits the default group policy, that user will download this test profile. Let's go back to the client here to see that there's no XML file here. And we log in. We have local LAN access available and a few other settings, and it is not checked. We log in with AnyConnect. Actually, we were connected. Let's disconnect and connect again. while logging in, have a look at the Explorer window in the background to see that we will get a file downloaded automatically. I log in, connect anyway, my test profile file is downloaded, and it's automatically applied to the AnyConnect client. I will show you that by going into this setting here. Actually, I did not uncheck this one, but this one is checked, and there have been a few other settings removed from the client. I can also show you once more if I enforce that setting, local LAN access, I enforce it by removing the user controllable and apply. And if I log in again on the client, I will show you that the moment I have logged in the client, that setting should not be changeable by the user. Local LAN access is removed from here. I cannot change it. So this is how the client profile editor works, and where the file is landing is in this directory here. This is how you can push out all settings in AnyConnect from your head-end firewall.